Welcome to The Right Question. I'm Daphne Gray Grant, and today my question is how freelance writers can better manage their bookkeeping. I have an email from Yasmin Manucheri, a successful translator and freelance writer who's based in California. Here's what she's asked. Every year I scramble to do my taxes. When I finally finished this year, I felt as though I'd just run a marathon. All I had was receipts stuffed in an accordion binder, and it took me a long time to finish. Do you have any suggestions for a better system? Thanks for your question, Yasmin. I know that April 15th is the deadline for taxes in the US, April 30th in Canada, but now is the time to start getting ready for next year. I do have a slightly better system, but if it's any comfort, I too had an accordion binder that I used for 15 years. I can really empathize. I always disliked the work of calculating how much I needed to pay until recent years. Here's why income tax no longer bothers me. There are just two categories you need to think about when doing your income tax: income and expenses. For some reason, I found the income side of the ledger a lot easier to manage, and I developed a good system for handling that from almost my first day in business. First, I have a separate income folder set up on my hard drive, and inside of that, I create a new separate folder for each calendar year. I just use Microsoft Word, but there's a lot of accounting software out there, and one of these days I'll get around to using some of that. QuickBooks is a good one, linked below. Under income, I bill once a month, usually on the first day of the month. Depending on the nature of your business, you may want or need to bill more frequently than that, but develop the habit of at least reviewing your billing once a month. That way you can be sure you won't be overlooking anything. Then, each time you create a new bill, name the file beginning with a number. This is important because then Microsoft Word will then file those numbers in precise chronological order. My first invoice for 2019, for instance, was labeled 19-001. My second, 19-002, and so forth. Once I've done the billing, I immediately enter those figures into an Excel spreadsheet. This allows me to easily track how much money I've earned at any given time, and it also gives me a single sheet I can hand over to my accountant. It took me much longer, however, to figure out how to deal with my expenses. Part of the issue for me is that the Canadian government requires actual receipts, not just credit card statements for things that you've bought. I do have a separate business card, and I use it exclusively for my business expenses, but that's not enough for Canadians. I don't know if the system is the same in the US, but you should investigate whether you need the actual receipts or if a credit card statement will be sufficient for you. Anyway, for many years, I would become extra stressed around tax time, always looking for missing receipts. My new system makes my life so much easier. Whenever I get a new receipt, I immediately tape it to an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and then I file it in an alphabetized binder like this. Then, once a month, when my credit card statement comes in, I'm able to look up those receipts and immediately move them to my tax binder. Having a good system for filing and finding my receipts and being able to cross-reference them once a month makes tax season a breeze. One other point I'll mention: many of my receipts now arrive via email. I have trained myself to print them out right away and immediately file them in my binder. This way, I almost never have any missing receipts anymore. As I describe this system, it occurs to me that I'm probably creating some unnecessary work for myself with all this copying and filing. So thanks for asking the question, Yasmin. As a result, I'm going to look for some good receipt filing software for next year. I already have an excellent scanner. It's called a Fujitsu SnapScan, link below. It cost about $350 and it scans so quickly and easily it was worth every penny. I use it for many reasons just about every day. You might want to think about getting one of those too. Finally, let me wrap up with a quote from the late American writer and Pulitzer Prize winner Herman Wouk. He won the 1951 Pulitzer Prize for his book, The Caine Mutiny, link below. Income tax returns are the most imaginative fiction being written today. Yasmin, don't allow your income tax returns to approach the fiction side of the ledger. If you develop a good system and devote a small amount of time to it each week, income tax time will no longer be a season of dread for you.